chamber, but it does seem to be that there's quite a few people who are deciding to join the Labour Party based upon seeing these smears, realising that they're completely wrong, and thinking that's really not fair.
Yeah,
I feel that this guy is a victim, and they're actually attacking him. Why are they attacking him? It must be because he's got some good about him. So I think I'll join the Labour Party. So it's actually doing a lot for recruitment to the Labour Party. And the only people who seem to be leaving are people who are the opinionators and journalists who have a record of being in favour of the Tories, who joined the Labour Party a short time ago just so they could now resign from the Labour Party and make a big show of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, if they do adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, it will actually dent the Labour left and Corbyn's support of the Palestinians, because the definition basically does equate any criticism of Israel as being anti-Semitic. They don't realise that Israel is a country and not everybody within Israel is Jewish, and not everybody who actually is Semitic is Jewish either. But it's a bit odd because the guy who actually was the author of that definition of anti-Semitism actually says it's not a good one and shouldn't be adopted.
Nice.
So they seem to be completely ignoring that fact. And
well, of course.
Going forward, I mean, all these smears against Corbyn are actually quite ridiculous in a way if you can look at them from an outside point of view, because he's massively against anti-Semitism. He's got a history of it. He's back in his history. You can see in the late 70s him being stood on barricades facing off against Nazi thugs. His voting record in Parliament just is almost a perfect score. In fact, it is a perfect score, and one of the few that there is, of supporting bills that are against any form of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
And under his leadership, the Labour Party has, had the lowest number of anti-Semitic cases in its, recorded history. And that's from a starting point of already being much less anti-Semitic than the Conservatives, for example.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can't believe. I mean, they do that here too when they try to smear the left wing of the Democratic Party. Meanwhile,
Obama's a Muslim.
Is there one?
But meanwhile, the Republicans
he
have
is,
actual
Joe.
Nazis.
I'm sorry, what?
He is a Muslim?
Since when?
Since forever. Are you fucking out of your
Didn't
mind?
you see his birth certificate?
Oh, Jesus Christ. There's no birth certificate.
Well, I liked how, and it's totally off topic, but I liked how him being a Muslim and him going to Reverend Jeremiah Wright's services were both scandals.
And
yes.
And it's like, they can't both be true.
Don't forget the tan suit.
And
he was a communist as well as being a Muslim.
And he's from Kenya. And he's from Kenya. Our one Kenyan listener. Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you, Obama.
Yeah.
Thank you, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Well, it's like bringing back to Jeremy Corbyn. It's like him. He's a Czech spy. He's also obviously he's now been an anti-Semite and a Palestinian terrorist.
Oh yeah,
all at the same time. And the way that they actually mix all these accusations against him and leap from one to the other. And I mean, the latest, they've now done full circle. And they now got back round to referring to him as an IRA terrorist.
Oh, of course,
perfect.
Well, why not?
Because
why not?
Because back in the 80s, he said, yeah, we should talk to the IRA and try and come to a solution where we, actually peacefully.
Oh, no. Well, that was his first mistake.
well, yeah. The problem was that Margaret Thatcher, who was in government at the time, was saying, "No, we shouldn't do that. That's awful. We can't speak to these people. We can't do that." But did behind closed doors,
of course,
and that actually brought about peace. When that happened, but it's just wrong for him to have actually said it out loud. Obviously, that was his big problem. But talking to the Conservatives, though, it's obviously Boris Johnson, who I know is one of Tom's favourites.
Oh yeah, he's a hero.
Yeah, he wrote an article in a newspaper. It's another extra job he's managed to tack on since stepping down from being foreign secretary.
Jesus Christ, he can write?
Well, yeah, and some people like to read what he's writing. But I mean, he shouldn't be having that job anyway because he hasn't left enough time between being a minister and taking this job on. So he's in trouble for that, but seemingly he's just going to get told off for it rather than have to do any kind of penance or even stop doing the job.
Of course.
But in this article, he referred to women wearing burqas as post boxes. Now,
What?
Now, for those
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
your listeners
Post
from your
boxes?
countries don't realise, they're the cylindrical boxes we have on the street corners that you post your letters in for the mail
So
service
a
to pick up
fucking
and take elsewhere.
mailbox is what you're saying?
So yeah. So just because of the slit. I mean,
Excuse
it
me?
provoked-
Oh my God.
Excuse me. This is a
the eye slits.
family-friendly show, okay? I need you to stop
Yeah.
with these words.
Incest, fun for all the family. So,
For a while.
It's like I have a kid.
yeah, so it did provoke some interesting things on Twitter. There was one Muslim lady who does actually wear a burqa and the full face veil and everything, and she actually took a photo of herself with her arm around one of the mailboxes saying, "Oh, it's so great to see my bestie. I haven't seen her in years." Those kind of people have taken humour out from this. But obviously, since Boris Johnson didn't say that the Israeli government shouldn't be shooting children, he obviously doesn't need to be actually taken to task or held to account for what he said. So obviously, as in your country, the people who are the worst problem and the biggest bigots are the ones that can get away with it, rather than the people who aren't actually a problem at all.
Yeah. It's unfortunately, it seems to be an international problem. I was hoping it was.
It does seem to be a growing international problem, but there are pushbacks against it. In Berlin at the moment, for example, there's been somebody who's been murdered, and the blame is being put upon some Middle Eastern immigrants.
Oh.
And the far right has come out in a massive demonstration, it seems, to try and actually stir up trouble, to actually lynch all these immigrants, no matter whether
Jesus
they were the
Christ.
perpetrators or not. But there's a massive counter demonstration as well from the anti-fascists, and that's quite heartening to see.
Yeah.
I mean, in this country, over the past 2 months, I've been on 2 separate demonstrations where it's been facing up against the fascists, the ultra right wing, and it's been very heartening to see the similar situation that you had in Washington recently, where there was many more of us than there was of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, but unfortunately, we know that's not the totality of what we have to worry about. It's the people who are closeted in their views and will still go to the polls or still post things online.
Yeah.
Or maybe in a supermarket have a go at somebody who happens to be dressed in traditional Muslim attire, and people have to intervene, Tom.
That's a good reference.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, listen, just doing what I got to do.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you shouldn't have to do it, but, credit to you for stepping up
Oh, thank you.
when you were in that position.
I don't know
'cause
who that
we all-
person was, because like
Have you seen them again?
no,
With how often you go and buy beer, you still haven't seen them again?
no, I haven't seen anybody.
Oh, that's right. You don't buy beer.
You don't buy beer, you get it off Austin, don't you?
No, I just bring it.
Yeah, Joe brings it to him.
No, we did. I've been there a couple times since then, but I haven't seen anybody. I haven't seen anybody from that incident either. But I also kind of blacked out, so I don't really remember exactly what everyone looks like. I remember what the Trump supporter looked like, though.
And you haven't
Did he
seen
have
him
a
again.
No, I
Chevy
haven't seen
pickup
him.
truck or a
I
Ford
didn't.
pickup truck?
I don't know that, but I know he has a lot of tattoos, and he had a MAGA hat on. So it was.
Oh, MAGA hat.
MAGA.
Man,
Make America gay again.
there you go. There you go.
Make America gay
There you
again.
go. Well, Stephen, thank you for updating
No,
us.
it's been my pleasure.
Of course.
And as I say, nice to meet Joe.
Nice to meet you, Stephen.
Okay. Is there anything that you
should
want to
tweet together sometime.
Nice to speak to you as well, Austin.
Oh, thank you.
And
And what were you going to say, Tom?
we'll be right back.
Enjoy the tea.
Yes.
Enjoy the tea.
Yes, you
enjoy
can-
the tea, my
Thank
friend.
you for
Do
sending
enjoy
me
the
tea. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wanted to plug or say before we kick you off the show for a month?
Yeah. Well, as I've said before, join a union.
Yeah.
There's a quote I picked up recently from a 90-year-old veteran of the First World War who actually fought actual Nazis, who has said trade unionism is the only thing that separates the worker from the employer's yoke of low wages. So go and strengthen your own position. And obviously we know that many labour unions or trade unions are actually quite strong supporters and campaigners in the anti-fascist movement. Yes. So give them some of your support since they're doing the right thing.
All right. Very well said, Mr. Stephen. Thank you once again for coming on the show. I think
my pleasure.
I think it's about time for us to take that final break and then end the show.
I will definitely have another beer for the end of the show.
And we're not going to go back in time and do the first part of the show because that would be unprofessional.
Yes,
so
that would be crazy.
We'll end the show next.
Yeah.
When we come back.
All right.
And so ends our big dumb show.
I feel very dumb.
Good. It's dumb all over.
It's probably because of the beer.
Definitely because of the beer.
Yeah. It's because of our company. That's what it is.
Present company excluded.
Okay. Those big words I didn't understand.
None of those were big words.
Stop! Your vocab is too big.
He went to college.
Ladies.
Say my dick might be small, but my vocab ain't. What?
I'm a cunning linguist.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll let you figure that one out.
That's nice. Okay.
That's a cover band for you, Tom.
Cunning linguist?
No, it's not. Trust me, I know, Tom. It's not.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
You're an asshole.
I know.
All right. Well, it's that time of the show, Joe, where we do our final thoughts. Would you like to lead us off?
Well, I know this breaks tradition, but we have a new beer for final thoughts.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. Yeah.
Tom is all over the place today.
Yeah.
What?
Well, because we have another beer.
Yeah,
we did. Yeah. Normally, we don't actually drink a beer at the end, but fuck it.
No.
You know, YOLO. Isn't that what the kids say?
That's no, they don't say that anymore.
They don't say YOLO anymore?
No, they say Bay and
lit.
Do you love
Did
me?
they still say lit? Because I finally added
They're
lit.
woke now.
They're woke?
Yes.
Yeah, lit is like the kids who are just a little bit behind us.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they don't say
So the kids are woke about everything now.
They're woke, but they're not lit.
No, because they've woken up from being lit.
But they got bays?
That's why I see, like, when Tom texts that to me, I'm like, oh.
I'm so lit, yeah, because you drank way too much beer today.
Yeah, and it's just like, he sounds like such an old man.
Yeah, lit. Okay. Our final beer for today.
It's groovy.
Is from... Wait, you don't say groovy anymore?
I've never said groovy in my life.
You just did twice in the last 10 seconds. What is this from? Dogfish Head?
Dogfish Head, yeah.
This is from Dogfish Head. It is their mixed media. Mm-hmm. It's Vino-esque ale. Brewed with grape must. It's a lot of shit. It's just supposed to taste like white wine.
Yeah.
And we haven't...
I believe it's going to take over Tesla soon.
Oh, yeah. 7.5 ABV. We'll do one more quick cheers. Come on, boys.
Ah.
All together now.
All right.
Ready?
Nice.
There we are.
And it looks a little like wine.
It does. Yeah.
Like somebody pissed in your wine.
So much.
I think after all the beer we drank, it just kind of tastes like water at this point.
I disagree. I actually do taste like a little bit of like a...
It tastes like white wine.
A hint of grape.
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of white wine, but I like this a little bit better than white wine.
Yeah.
It does leave that same white wine aftertaste, though, which is really strange for a beer.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. That's a good beer. Well, it's okay.
I prefer they mix their media with a red wine, but you know.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
That'd probably be pretty good.
I don't think I'll go back to this.
No.
Joe, go ahead, lead us off with your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Short and sweet. I'm sorry for John McCain. R.I.P.
Rip.
Fuck all these irresponsible gun owners and such.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did we talk about today? Oh, I'm glad I finally met Steven.
Yeah.
In virtual person.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And
one day we'll go over and visit him in England.
One day.
Yeah. Well,
Patreon goal.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, yes, very much
Ooh,
Patreon goal.
How
yeah.
about we hit the third goal first, and then we'll talk about plane tickets.
Listen, there's plenty of time. Joe Rogan's been doing it for 10 years. I'm sure you guys can figure it out before then.
Yeah. Has he been podcasting for 10 years?
A long time.
Is
I
it
think
really?
like 8 years he's on.
Hey, Austin, we can do that.
Yeah, I think so.
I got nowhere to go.
I think the bigger